How's it going, everybody? Hardcore Kid here, and today I'm going to be doing another commentary.
Can I just point out every issue I had with this beginning part? First, you start with Allegro's twerking, which has become a rule of thumb for me. Anytime someone starts an anti-Powerpuff Girls 2016 remake video with Allegro, I really have a hard time taking you seriously. The reason this is due to the fact that Allegro is supposed to be cringy and annoying. Even the twerking is supposed to be awful. Hell, it's not even glorified. Buttercup is disgusted the whole time it's happening. I know that's the topic of Kablam's video, but really kicking us off with Allegro is really stooping to a low low. Now moving on to your actual video production, if you don't mind. So one of two things is happening here. We got A, you didn't create your own intro, or B, you're being utterly lazy with your opening. There is not a third option here, of course, because your avatar for this wonderful commentary is hashtag PowerpuffYourself2016, which is something you can do via web browser, and I have before. If you have an intro with lightning, something halfway decently drawn with editing that shows you're at least a little bit competent, you really have no excuse for something this lazy.
And today's target is a young cadet who goes by the name of Kablam Bandicoot 64.
Okay, quick question. Out of all the pictures they use for Kablam Bandicoot, why use the thumbnail to Skihound's commentary on Kablam? I mean, I know this might seem minor, but let me word this in a way that puts this into perspective. Hi, I'm New Boy. Who in this picture is Kablam? Is it this guy? Or this doorknob-looking fellow in the background? Sure, it's not a major issue, and you do show Kablam right afterwards, but really just comes off as a confusing choice that could have easily been changed, since a quick Google search would help find way more than enough pictures of Kablam, so really there's no reason why you did this.
Now, if you've never heard of Mr. Bandicoot, he's a commentator known for making a lot of really crappy videos commentating on the mysterious Mr. Enter, cartoons, and little kids in Chuck E. Cheese restaurants. Yeah. Now, commentaries on Mr. Enter aren't uncommon. Ever since his trolling video and video on satire, he became a huge bandwagon and hasn't recovered since. However, the problem with KB's commentaries is that he's a smug douche whose videos consist of forced jokes, poor and overly long arguments, and extreme hypocrisy.
Look, I know Kablam is a lot of things, but a smug douche? Okay, as someone who was part of a live stream that highlighted every problem with Kablam, I never really got the vibe that he was a smug douche. As much of an idiot as Kablam made himself look on the stream, he was never really a douche to anyone that took part in the stream. He was just some fucking Boy Scout who made idiotic points that made no logical sense. There's really nothing smug or douchey about it. Unless, of course, there's something that actually proves he's a smug douche that I'm not aware of, in which case you never provide that piece of information to your 6,000 plus subscribers who may not know about this piece of information, let alone to those who've never heard of Kablam before. So how am I supposed to take your word for it if you provide jack and fuck to back this statement up?
And before anybody claims that explaining it would drag the video, I'd argue that bringing up his backstory and such of his previous mistakes honestly drags out the video on its own. I mean, Kablam's previous stuff doesn't add to this video, it doesn't relate to this video, it's just pointless trivia that no one has any reason to keep in mind. Heck, not only is it pointless info, but like Redden stated, it's also vague pointless info. So what the frick is the point?
Also, may I point out, you may want to keep a checklist of everything Hardcore Kid pulls out here. Being a smug douche, forced jokes, poor and overly long jokes, and extreme hypocrisy. Let's make this a game. Whoever can point out the exact timestamp where Hardcore Kid hits all four of these categories wins.
Bitching about all the stupid little mistakes Mr. Enter does, when, if you look at his channel, he's done the exact same thing in the past. Also, he throws in the ever-popular "no you" argument. Like when Mr. Enter does a review of the annoying orange, he goes ahead and says, "No, you're the one who's not funny, bleh."
You seriously need to rethink your life. Like, look at me. I'm in school band, Spanish, and advanced English. You don't see me screaming when all of those things get boring, and you're screaming about a children's show getting boring. I'd hate to see how you did in school, Enter. I really, really would hate to see it.
Yeah, so basically he's to Mr. Enter as to what A-Log was to Chris Chan, and what Clay Claymore was to O3B Good.
Okay, now you're pushing it on pointless information. Not only are you talking about arguments that is from a completely different commentary Kablam made, but you're talking about this in a commentary where the video you're covering from Kablam is not even fully related to Mr. Enter at all. Oh, and to make things worse, you pull probably one of my biggest pet peeves a commentator could do. Hi, it's New Boy again. Who's A-Log? Who's Chris Chan? Who's Clay Claymore? Heck, who's O3B Good? O3B Good hasn't been a prominent name in the CC as a bandwagon for about 3 freaking years now, and I've never once heard about this A-Log guy. Seriously, what the frick freckle cut thing crunch is going on? Freaking Willy Wonka fanboys!
So I went through some of his videos. I was going to do one on his commentary of Enter's review of the annoying orange, but I think MacBoy Redux covered it pretty well. So instead, I'm going to be covering one of his more recent videos, his Powerpuff Girls reboot rebuttal. That's right, the guy who bitches at a dude for reviewing cartoons is trying to defend a cartoon? What the fuck, Hippogriff?
No! He got onto someone for whining about cartoons in an uneducated and emotionally driven manner. He doesn't criticize Enter for criticizing a cartoon. That's freaking silly to think. And even if it wasn't the case, defending a cartoon and yelling about a cartoon are, fun fact, not the same thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure defending and attacking are antonyms.
The only possible way he could be seen as a hypocrite is if he did in fact use the exact same method of review and he criticized others for using and or made the exact same mistakes as the people who he criticized for making said mistakes. But guess what? Not only does he not say anything along those lines, but he never actually does that in the video at hand. Now, I would ask where the hypocrisy in that is, but honestly that would be overlooking a fatal ass flaw in you calling him a hypocrite to negate his point. But we'll get to that when the time is right.
Anyway, let's begin.
So on top of dragging your opening statement out to high hell and being vague as hell, the overwhelmingly vast majority of your opening statement holds no relevancy to the video in question. This is why people just plain fucking suck.
It's party time!
Okay, that wasn't really that funny. I mean, like I said in my breadwinners, on my commentary on that one guy who ranted on breadwinners, I mean, I don't really mind twerk jokes, but that was a little pushing it, what with them being the Powerpuff Girls and all. But it wasn't really twerking, it was more of them just shaking their booties. I mean, that's a popular dance move. I know I did that when I was a kid. Hell, I still do it now when I dance.
Thank you for giving me those horrifying images. The last thing I need to see is some pale skinny white kid twerking against a fence post.
Wait, why a fence post? Why can't it be in a museum, a park, at the bank, the Eiffel Tower, in space, where no one can hear you scream, at your grandma's house, at my grandma's house, on the sun, on the grave, episode 16. This video leaves me so confused!
Come on. They only did it for like 3 seconds. Surely we haven't become this, like, overly sensitive as a society. I mean, it's just a silly little cartoon. Surely not everybody in the comment section of this video are a bunch of Enterbots, right? Right?
Oh, of course, because every single person who doesn't like the Powerpuff Girls reboot is automatically a Mr. Enter fanboy. Seriously, dude, why do you have such a hate boner for Mr. Enter? Hell, I'm not even a Mr. Enter fan anymore, but I can soundly say that I'm really trying to like the Powerpuff Girls reboot, but so far it's had a bit of a rough start.
Alright, both of you are fucking idiots. First off, Hardcore Kid, that's not what he said. He never once said that everyone who hated the Powerpuff Girls twerking were necessarily Mr. Enter fans, just saying that they may be Enterbots. This implies that they share the same kind of mindset Mr. Enter has, which is one that takes everything seriously to an obnoxiously nitpicky degree, and can and does get offended by everything. That's what the term Enterbot implies, at least. That said, Kablam, you aren't getting away scot-free either, for you're the idiot who arbitrarily brought up Mr. Enter in a video that has absolutely nothing to do with the mysterious Mr. Enter. Seriously, when I said that I understand you like jerking off with sandpaper to Mr. Enter's tears, I meant it as a joke! It's like you've taken more Viagra than your body can handle. You have such a fucking hate boner for Enter. Hardcore Kid, you really should have just pointed out that the Enter drop was arbitrary and stupid, but instead you just floundered about and fucking failed at debunking a point that someone who should have really been easy to debunk had said. Try again, faggots.
Wait, Doodle, you still exist in this commentary? Where'd you go?
Oh, nothing big. I was just out saving the world.
What? There's no way that's where you were. You're clearly pulling my leg.
Oh yeah, I also released like 30 more commentaries while I was out.
You know, when you word it like that, that somehow makes everything sound more legit.
No, it fucking doesn't!
Shut up, Redden! Unicorns are real!
The fuck are you talking about?
It's not a phase, Dad!
For the last goddamn fucking time, I am not your faggy ass fucking father, you fucking high school dropout! Oh, before I forget, if anybody gets onto Doodle for saying faggots, yeah, how do I put it? She's a transsexual, so kindly fuck off.
I'm a faggot too!
And you shut the fuck up, you fucking pipsqueak!
Surely they're not man babies who get overly sensitive about everything, right?
Now that my eardrums have been heavily beaten, I'll take that as a no.
Wait, what happened to your hashtag Powerpuff Yourself 2016 avatar? What's with the random dead guy?
And while we're on the topic of avatars, are you really picking arbitrary fucking pictures for your avatar rather than sticking to a particular character? Why? That just makes your presentation lazy as all fuck! But then again, that would be implying your presentation wasn't lazy to begin with your fucking hashtag Black Borders Matter shit you got going on there.
Thought Well, guess what? It is a freaking kid's show. So let me get this straight. Just because girls, they have twerking for 3 seconds, that automatically makes it inappropriate or inappropriate for kids or not a kid's show. Guess what? It is a kid's show. It's just perverted, overly sensitive dorks like you trying to misinterpret everything and make everything seem like it really is worse than it is. My gosh. They only twerked, or even did somewhat twerking, just shaking their butts. They only did for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe? My gosh. You people are treating it like they did that for the whole episode.
It's not...
No! No! What the fuck are you doing? I swear to fucking God, if you ever remind me of that fucking thing ever again, I will kick your fucking ass to the fucking ground!
It's not just that these people are getting pissy just because there's twerking. There's also the toning down of the violence, the characters now acting all douchey, the animation hiccups. The show has a lot of problems, and I'd say the twerking is maybe 6 on the list of what's wrong with it.
I mean, well, that's cool and all. You didn't counter-argue his fucking point. In fact, you saying that the twerking is not the biggest problem is adding on to Kablam's point that people are making a bigger deal out of the twerking than it actually is. So yeah, please keep your fucking mouth shut. Thanks.
Also, I love how you get onto Kablam for generalizing the people that dislike the twerking as inter-fanboys, yet you try to combat one of Kablam's points by generalizing the mindset of people who dislike the twerk scene to fit your argument, since not everyone who dislikes the twerking scene agrees that it's not the worst thing about the show. Heck, given that a ton of people have reacted extremely negatively to the scene, it's fair to say that a decent number of people actually do think that, and even if that isn't the case, Kablam's video is about the people that do consider it to be on that level of bad, so your point means nothing.
And it's like I said in my last commentary. I don't particularly have problems with twerk jokes. This was a joke. They only did it like, what, once in the episode, really? I mean, come on, you people. And one more thing. I'm not a pedophile.
Are you sure?
Implying erotic short stories are automatically pedophilic. You know, they could just be between 2 consenting adults who are into bondage, or 2 teenagers his age just learning about themselves, or, hell, even 2 old people fucking vanilla. Assuming just makes an ass out of you and me, so try to quit that. You fart fetishist?
And I hate pedophilia and pedophiles and the whole idea of it, but this isn't. I mean, come on, you people. It really, really isn't. They're not scantily clad. They're just having fun and dancing. My gosh.
Alright, I'm going a bit off topic here.
Implying you haven't done a shit ton of that already, but please do go on.
But this is something I just want to suggest. You know how to slightly improve your videos? If you used a script. In his video on Mr. Enter's Annoying Orange review, he said that he only watched the first 2 minutes and gave up. So his commentary was just him going through the video snowblind and repeating the same points over and over again. Same problems occur in this video. It could probably be 2 minutes shorter if he wasn't stalling the entire time. And I know he said in one of his recent videos that he prefers to do improvisation rather than script, but really, dude, improv just doesn't work for you. I really think you're better off just writing all your notes down so you aren't making a complete cluttered mess of a video.
Wait, going and repeating the same points over and over again. You are referring to Kablam's video then, right? Huh. Well, that's funny because I could make very similar arguments about your video. Throughout this whole shitfest of a video, you're either going to, spoiler alert, keep calling out hypocrisy when there really isn't any to be found, and you're going to keep bringing up the mysterious Mr. Enter arbitrarily. Though, I suppose Kablam does that too, but nevertheless, when it comes to repetition hardcore kid, you're more of a broken record than Kablam is.
But you're gonna lose faith in an entire show just because they made a joke you didn't like? No, I would expect this crap from Teen Titans Go haters. Not that you guys are any better.
Well, Teen Titans Go is now in that phase where they're basically looking down on the haters who criticize the lame humor of the new show and say, yeah, we don't care. We just love fucking around and having a good time. You haters are just being soft.
Because that totally relates and or debunks the original point, right? Right? No, it doesn't, because whether the show is smacking haters in the face or not, that doesn't change Kablam's point that he feels the haters of the show are annoying.
Also, a shoehorned wrestling joke is incredibly shoehorned in. It's not like this video has anything to do with wrestling, so why is this incredibly confusing joke even here? You could make the argument that it's random humor, but look, random humor or no, which this is not, you fail at the delivery of the joke so miserably that I hope they fire you from the post office you came from.
Also, how the fuck is this considered a bandy commentary? To me, it looks more like a Let's All Laugh at Fanboy Comments video.
And to make this entire thing worse, you randomly take your point and swerve it into traffic like a depressed businessman who just got laid off.
Which begs the question, why the fuck did you bring it up in the first fucking place if you weren't gonna go anywhere with it? Yeah, I'm sorry, what happened to not make it a cluttered mess of a video? I mean, you do know what makes a video cluttered, right?
You're not commentating on shit. In fact, to me, you seem to be defending this show almost as much as the Enter bots defend Mr. Enter. Hypocrisy much?
First of all, commentaries are not just limited to responding to shitty videos. It could also apply to discuss an opinion or an event, or hell, just expressing your own opinion in general. So you limiting what a commentary can be based on what a commentary is in the context of the CC exclusively not only does not prove Kablam's original point wrong, but it's just fucking dumb to pull shit like that to begin with. Hell, if we go back to my 10th commentary, that was a commentary on a fucking DeviantArt journal LNI Guy 34 made on his DeviantArt page.
So it's not like you can't commentate on comments. Hell, if Redden will allow a shameless plug for a second, I did that with Leo the video game guy. That whole commentary was just on a single comment.
So in other words, yes, he is commentating on shit, since commentating is nothing more than expressing your goddamn opinion on whatever the fuck you have an opinion on, so fuck off. Second of all, being a hypocrite does not invalidate the point in question. That'd be like me saying that Anita McDuck Trump is greedy while I myself have been proven to be considered someone to be greedy. That does not take away from the fact that Anita McDuck Trump is still fucking greedy. Thus saying that I'm a hypocrite because I myself am greedy proves jack fuck. So please, to everyone in the CC who pulls the hypocrisy card as the main argument, please stop it, because you're not counter-arguing the original point when you don't explain how the hypocrisy in question actually affects the original point in question, as opposed to just saying, you're a hypocrite. Thanks.
And to add on to this, I'm really getting sick and tired of this whole attaching hypocrisy to everything, even when it doesn't apply bullcrap I see all the time. Honestly, at this point, the word hypocrite doesn't even have a meaning anymore based off of how misused it is in the community nowadays. Like, the amount of stretching you did just to have that one point even come close to making sense is so big, your point sexually identifies as full-on homosexual. How the frick is defending the show? No, not even the show. A scene from the show, in the same way Mr. Enter fans are defending Enter. Like, you can't just expect me to just nod my head and go, nah, man, that's totally perfect logic, because you're not going through the effort of actually selling your point to me. You know, like you should be doing.
I swear to Christ, if this kind of nonsense will stand right, Jack, I'm gonna personally set it with the commentator headquarters and shove a brick at the CEO's ass! Look at this guy. Just what the heck is wrong with these people? You're talking about a completely different reboot, man! Wait a minute, people bringing up different reboots on a video about another reboot? Oh no, those guys are here too, aren't they? Since Teen Titans Go, but they didn't do that.
Hey, Hardcore Kid, we're about to hit that minute mark. Did you not think to speed up this video, that way Kablam's video doesn't drag out awkwardly?
I knew it. I freaking knew they would be here. Gosh, people, if you don't like Teen Titans Go, shut the hell up. That show's a dead topic. But at least comment on videos about that freaking show. My gosh, people. You know, I have a feeling if they worked at a Sonic, because at the moment Sonic sells Teen Titans Go toys, they would friggin' take that box of kids' toys and throw it out the window. That's how little of a social life these freaks have.
Well, of course there are still going to be those comments of people bitching about Teen Titans Go. Hell, you can't really call it a dead topic when it airs on Cartoon Network all the time.
I debate that. Just because something keeps going and going doesn't prevent it from being a dead topic. If that was the case, then no one could ever say Mr. Enter is a dead topic due to the fact he still makes videos. The thing isn't, do they still keep going? It's, what more can he bring to the table that hasn't been said before? I mean, I'm a very stern believer that you can always find new things to bring to a topic, but not everyone thinks the way that I do, and I understand that. Basically what I'm saying is the horse can die in the train. It won't necessarily stop the train, but that doesn't prevent the horse from being dead.
Also, if you don't want to talk about Teen Titans Go, why bring it up? I thought you were commentating on people hating the Powerpuff Girls twerking, Maggle.
He did not say, don't talk about Teen Titans Go, period. He was saying, talk about Teen Titans Go on a video that's relevant to the show. Granted, that doesn't change the fact there was no reason for him to bring it up, given that the two shows are in fact comparable in terms of the treatment both shows got. But even then, this doesn't change the fact that you twisted his words to something he never said.
Also, he's commentating on the comment section who brought up Teen Titans Go first, thus making it relevant to Kablam's video. Even if his point is invalid, it's not like it was forced in there with zero warning.
Way to go, Cartoon Network. Let's just sexualize every show you've got while you're at it. This is why I don't watch cartoons from this era anymore, because it's all about making children look sexy and spreading stupid behavior. I strongly advise everyone who sees this to just quit watching CN and find something better to watch. My God.
You mean have all the cartoons be portrayed by sexy girls? Fantastic. That means more of Raven's Badonkadonk.
Never say that again. ever.
Also, hey, I thought this was a commentary on Kablam. Way to change the topic there, Senor Hypocrisy. You basically changed your topic to argue against a comment that Kablam hasn't even said anything about yet. The majority of what he's doing in this video anyway is commentating on the overreaction to the paintbow twerking scene.
Judging a whole decade of animation. Now, who does this remind me of? In all seriousness, though, putting Enter's baseless judgments aside, you make baseless judgments too. I mean, seriously. Not every cartoon to come out in the 2010 decade overly sexualizes minors like you say. You are an idiot. Idiot, 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 idiot. I'm sorry I'm getting so worked up.
Girl, stop.
Okay, I take that last comment back. Never say that again.
Children.
But these people and their idiotic, moronic, stupid complaints about something that really shouldn't be complained about really grinds my gears. I mean, come on, people. It's the Powerpuff Girls, and they didn't twerk, really. No. Come on, you freaking imbeciles.
No, girl.
Hey! What did I just get done fucking telling you?
Miley Cyrus, JBL, and every Dancing with the Stars winner, and they'll say that was definitely twerking. And I find it hilarious. You make fun of Mr. Enter fanboys who can't take criticism, and yet here are you getting worked up at people criticizing your favorite cartoon show. The hypocrisy is delicious. It tastes like tapioca pudding.
First off, he said he was indifferent to both the joke as said in the beginning of the video and to the show itself. So the fuck are you talking about it being his favorite show? Straw man much? Second, he brought up Enter as a joke. All you did was take it seriously. Fuck off. And third, stop calling him out on hypocrisy. It's not proving him wrong in any capacity.
Hardcore kid, do me a favor and don't ever reference the tapioca pudding joke like that ever again. That was painful for me and my entire family to watch. Not to mention my future family. And my dog. And yes, I know just referencing a joke by itself isn't bad, but just the way you put it there sounded like you tried to just shove the joke in by force.
So much so it should be screaming rape.
To add on to this, the picture you switched to when you said the phrase tapioca pudding isn't anything related to the joke in question. In fact, it's just a thumbnail of one of your reviews, and this entire joke just comes off as sloppy.
Also, I know this isn't entirely relevant, but I'm surprised it's taken this long before it was pointed out. Your acting is garbage. Your speaking pattern is so forced to give M. Night Shyamalan a poor acting boner, which makes it feel unnatural and wonky and really tedious to watch. Could you actually give us something to listen to and care about, instead of standing there reading off your script like you're doing a middle school presentation in front of your classmates?
Nothing on the internet today. Guess I'll search on YouTube for something irrelevant.
That mic quality, though. Oh, sorry, am I doing an ad hominem again? I'm sorry, this guy's microphone sounds like he's gargling marbles, and it makes it excruciatingly difficult to understand at times. I'd suggest go to the local Walmart, dish out 3 Lincolns, and get yourself a microphone that's a bit clearer. You really need it if you're gonna do anything video-related.
Also, while we're on the topic of your production, I just want to talk about your high quality, nay, your masterful visuals. Not only does this picture confuse me, what with the weird colors on the wall and the way your arm looks like it's sort of stretching out and bending like a slinky. Seriously, I can't be the only one noticing that. But your video also contains the absolute annoyance that is blatant black borders. Now don't be fooled. When he shows RebelTax's video, it fills the full screen. And even if you want to say he's using Windows Movie Maker, bro, you drew your own background along with the avatar. Couldn't you just draw it into the correct ratio? I mean, given how much is actually going on in those areas, it really wouldn't be that hard to have your video at least look passable. Yeah, I know it's not majorly important to his points and the such, but here's the thing. With commentators starting to step up their game visually, heck, even Nero's Q gets the idea. Commentators are a more visually heavy medium now, and if you aren't going to keep up with the community, I have next to no reason to watch your ramble of a commentary.
Well, fuck me with a cactus. He made another video, and it's part 2 this time. Well, time to counter-critique this motherfucker.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this towards a simple statement like, I'm gonna argue another individual, but, keep that statement in mind, because it'll be important.
Basically, it's going to bite his ass like a rabid shark to a steak.
I have taught you well, my star pupil.
Powerpuff Girls 2016 is the biggest disappointment since my son.
Ugh, Smash 4 reference. Disgusting. That's overused too.
Where to start? Well, let's start with that brilliant grammar. Saying that it's overused too implies that there's something prior to the Smash Bros. Reference, which in this video there wasn't. Next, what's wrong with a reference that's overused? I mean, when there's something that can be splashed in like the Smash Bros. Thing, it tends to be popular for a reason. The fact of the matter is, you can spin it any way to match your own style and your own character.
Heck, the fact that he went through the trouble to make it look as legit as he did, along with the drawn avatar and animation, it's not like he was being lazy with it. You see, as the presenter, you really need to explain your points to people. Like for instance, how is this bad in this particular instance? Was it any visual errors? An execution error? If anything, your lack of explanation makes you come off as the lazy one more than it does for Nero.
Loves cartoons would totally screw up reviewing one. But enough about Pie Guy rules. Let's talk about your review.
Pie Guy rules.
Okay, if I could go on another tangent involving his presentation, with the exception of a few moments later, this picture of him at the computer is the only thing you're going to see for the largest majority of the video. I mean, yeah, technically it does change, but it's so minor that at first I barely noticed it. Like, seriously, he just moves his eyes! I know this character doesn't give you a lot to work with in terms of the face, but that's when you, I don't know, move the arms? Or maybe have him lean back a bit? Anything! I know, again, it's not the highest of priorities, but it's so uninteresting with how little he does to engage me in the video. It makes the experience freaking boring, coupled along with the half-dead acting.
That sounds quite familiar. Reminds me of that one particular video, him and his Circle Jerk buddy reviewing or judging one particular SpongeBob SquarePants episode. I'll show you a clip of what I'm talking about.
And you'll see my piece of evidence, the funnel.
What about the funnel?
That joke, among many others, especially before Patrick's fake parents show up, is golden.
Oh yeah, the jokes towards the beginning of the episode are pretty good. Watching some of the later episodes...
Remember, reviewing a cartoon is serious shit.
What was the point of that? You basically shit-talked Pie Guy before playing a debate he and Mr. Ender had about I'm with Stupid to basically show that reviewers may have a difference in opinions. There's literally nothing there for you to use in order to debunk Nero's non-point.
Also, not only did this interjection have no point, but you somehow made your drifting of the topic have a new brand of issues along with it. For one, you play a clip from the I'm with Stupid review completely out of context, not even filling the audience in on what it's from, therefore making things come off as unbelievably confusing for me trying to get your, slam at Pie Guy. Secondly, not only did this clip you show in no way imply that they were taking the cartoon too seriously, but going back to something else you said, you followed the statement calling them Circle Jerk buddies by showing a clip from a video where they are disagreeing. Sweet curly fries, the things you're trying to accomplish in this video aren't even hard to do. Eat an entire bag of paint.
Here's how much I care about the original.
It reminds me of that one Flash game over at Newgrounds where you have to kill the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, I can show you in the link below.
God damn it, I knew I should have upgraded him to Windows 10. Alright, where to start? You mean to tell me frickin' Nero's Q decides to show his distaste for the Powerpuff Girls by hanging them, and you, in all your wonderful glory, decide to go, hey, that reminds me of a Newgrounds Flash game. How is this an interjection? How are you real? Are you real? Is Ryan real? Have I been talking bad about a figment of my imagination to another figment of my imagination?
Well, you know what, Doodle? Maybe you're the figment of someone's imagination. Did you ever think of that?
Wait a fucking second, I thought you blue screened.
Haha! Memes sure are funny, aren't they?
You know what? Don't even want to know.
Whew, that was close. Good thing this isn't canon or things would have really gotten confusing. Now no one has to know about my switch to Macintosh.
Oh. Well, if there's no particular order, then I guess it would be right below the original Powerpuff.
Hey, keep Rocky and Bullwinkle out of this. They did nothing wrong.
Aside from running from the cops, being above the law, stealing a biplane in a car, and basically just overall had the second biggest case of Grand Theft Auto in the year 2000.
Wait. So you actually have something you could say about Nero's video, well, next to all the other opportunities you had at actual points, and your point of focus is the fact that Rocky and Bullwinkle was on Nero's worst cartoon gag. At the very bottom, almost off the screen, no less. I'm genuinely lost for words. Also, going back on your other opportunities to make points, we're about a minute and a half into your video, and the only thing you've actually attempted to counter-critique is him using a Smash reference at the beginning. Like, I wouldn't be as bugged if you just made bad points. The problem now is that you're not even trying to make points. I mean, why advertise this as a response, a counter-critique, an argument that contributes to the discussion, if you're mostly going to go completely off topic and not actually add anything to the discussion? And honestly, as this is all transpiring, I just have to think to myself, is this really the guy that helped start the Nero's Q bandwagon? How?
It's no wonder that there's more shit videos on Nero's than there's actually decent ones.
For you, how about you learn to pay attention for once?
How about a lesson for you? How about you stop taking everything way too serious and out of context and use it as your paper thin excuse? Yeah, paper thin excuse.
Same though?
1. Retakes. You're basically more unfocused than a stereotypical blonde valley girl with ADHD. Either re-record or edit out the pointless stammer of,
You're a paper thin excuse. Yeah, paper thin excuse.
It makes it feel much more like an unscripted video than it already did, having had 0 legitimate points to go against what Nero's had to say, which in turn makes this 5-minute video a chore to sit through. Also, can I just say I love how you do no explanation to what Nero's point is taking out of context or how it's actually taking it out of context, just that he's taking Rebel Taxi's point out of context. It makes it so much better when you take into consideration that we kinda need this information as you don't put in Rebel Taxi's points and does take Nero's Q's point out of context. I mean, there's a difference between malicious quote mining and incompetent quote mining, and I really want to believe you're just the latter, which I mean is still a problem, but less so as that imply that you're not doing it to be a total jackass.
Mayor? Oh, that's okay. You also destroyed my beautiful city! You are flying in a no-fly zone! Land now!
They were just playing.
Hey, wait! That was a movie. You can't compare this show to that. It's meant to be more serious and realistic.
Yeah, you kind of lost me there.
10 out of 10. Best interjection. Can't argue with that logic. Pack it up, we lose.
Game over, man. Game over.
No, it's not. They're still clones regardless.
And I think they could have been just as important as any other person. Yet the Powerpuff Girls have no problem with letting all of them die.
Didn't they, sacrifice for the greater good?
Now, I'm not exactly going to say you're wrong on this point, due to me not actually seeing whatever episode Nero's is talking about, but, that's also part of the problem. I have 0 idea what episode Nero's Q's is talking about, either because you failed to explain, or implying that it was mentioned in the original video, you cut out the part that says it, therefore making it so not only does your point not make full sense, but you made it so your audience has to do a large amount of legwork to even understand the crap you're going on about. Is this really something people genuinely thought deserved around 100 likes?
Not only that, but you failed to discredit Nero's. Having actually seen the episode Knock It Off and even reviewed it, all you do is state that the clones sacrificed themselves for the greater good to basically take down Dick Hardley and save the Powerpuff Girls and the person who loved them. It doesn't change the fact that the Powerpuff Girls were totally okay with it. So try again.
Guess they might not care about them since they were deformed and mentally challenged. But wouldn't that be an insult to the disabled and mentally challenged?
I think you should check out Twisted's sister.
Okay, since you once again aren't gonna explain Jack to me, I guess I'll have to do the extra legwork again. And by the way, I'm gonna be arguing both your point and Nero's Q's point, since you're clearly too busy chugging lighter fluid to understand what you're actually supposed to be doing in this video. How does this excuse Nero's point? How does there being another episode from the original show doing the same thing Nero's is complaining about have anything to do with the point? Oh yeah, it doesn't. In fact, your point, in turn, is fueling his point as he's talking about an offensive original Powerpuff Girls episode, and you responded with, no, this is a real offensive original Powerpuff Girls episode. Like, where's the logic? You know how you could have actually debunked his point? By bringing up that both Bonnie, the girl from the Twisted Sister episode you brought up, and the incomplete clones from the episode Nero's brought up were both in their respective episodes creations. One made by the Powerpuff Girls themselves, and the other one by Dick Hardley. Meaning that any signs leading back to them making fun of mentally challenged people is moot due to them being failed experiments, not characters with confirmed mental issues.
That's because they ran away in this shot. I mean, if a giant monster was attacking, wouldn't you run off while a superhero took care of it? Or would you just stand there like an idiot and just wait to be crushed?
What?
And the award for the most pointless interjection on a commentary goes to...
What?
Congratulations, Lord Huge Knot. You get nothing.
Dude, it's obvious what he meant by his statement. If you saw a monster, you would run. Would you not? I mean, I know this is you we're talking about here, but I'd assume that you'd have more sense than that. Unless your interjection was referring to the visual animation of Pan Pizza getting crushed, in which case, you really didn't convey that well. At all. And even if that wasn't the point of your interjection, the animation had a point too. You know, to visually engage the audience. Idiot.
Great introduction. Look, shows like Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Courage the Cowardly Dog, SpongeBob, and Megas XLR are all shows I grew up watching, and they all have background characters that aren't developed, collateral damage, and practically everything you've complained about.
What does that have to do with the Powerpuff Girls reboot?
Actually, a lot. Since you played the clip out of context, we can only assume that Rebel Taxi was talking about the fact that the Powerpuff Girls' collateral damage never gets addressed, and the fact that the background characters are about as unmemorable as cardboard. And then Nero's brings up these shows as a comparison, showing that it's not the first and probably not the last of its kind to do this. Hey, Huge Knot, can you, I don't know, pay attention and stop taking Rebel Taxi out of context, please?
I mean, when Teen Titans Go was released, I gave it a chance. But when it started botching up ideas and lessons, that's where I stopped watching and started hating it.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
So, it's okay for you to use an overused SpongeBob clip, but the minute Nero's makes a Smash reference, it's disgusting and overused. You know, a robot once told me these wise words, I'll go ahead and give them to you. You're such a hypocrite.
I get what you're trying to say, but the true sad thing is, well, that you're wrong. Teen Titans Go tried to do a separate thing and not involve the original. However, they have shown that time and time again, they want us to think that the show is actually better than the original.
As you may see, this show you're talking about, Teen Titans Go, is not canon to the original.
Implying the Powerpuff Girls 2016 reboot is canon to the original one. You see, aside from the fact that, once again, does not disprove Nero's point, because what Nero's is saying is Teen Titans Go wants you to believe it's better than its 2006 counterpart, and it's no more apparent that the episode The Fourth Wall, where they build up the show with a bunch of strawmen, take down the strawmen, and basically say, yeah, this show would be bad if it shared these flanderized aspects of the old show, so enjoy us for what we are because you'll get no better. And that's what Nero's was getting at. And that's what you failed to debunk.
The only thing worse than a show that tries to be good but ends up bad is a show that knows it's bad but tries to be even worse.
That episode of Teen Titans Go you're talking about has some good moments. It's just you don't get it.
You know those moments where you end up looking at your life, only to contemplate how you got to that point? What wrong turns you must have made to lead you towards this instant amount of regret and pain? This is one of those moments. Legit, what the heck are you talking about? How does the quality of the episode, the quality you did elaborate on, mind you, in any way debunk his point? Actually, you wanna know what's funny about this? Lord Hugenot, the man who tells people not to take others out of context for a paper-thin excuse, is in this segment taking Nero's point out of context. Watch.
They flat out admit that their own show sucks.
It was supposed to bring me awards and the respect of the entertainment industry. Instead, everyone thinks it's garbage!
And you know what makes this interjection ultimately bug me? The fact you could have actually debunked the statement Nero's made, as he follows a statement of him claiming Teen Titans Go thinks it's better than the original by saying that it's self-aware that it sucks. Like, seriously, Nero's? Make up your mind. Does the show think it's better, or does the show know that it sucks? On top of that, Nero takes a joke made by the said clip way too seriously, because if the show honestly believed that it sucked, why in the world would they keep airing it? Answer is, they wouldn't, and Nero's, you're analyzing a joke way more than you should. See, Huge Knot? Was that so hard? I'm being legit. Are you just so incompetent to actually make a point that isn't bumbling stupidity to have something intelligent actually come out of your mouth? Like, seriously, this video is just going on and on and on, and nothing is coming out of it, and what is even going on anymore? Where are my hands?
Cartoon Network should take this reboot and just shove it up their own.
I'll shove your review up your own.
What, you can't say asna? You can't say fuck? You can't say shit?
Oh, censorship. Fun. You guys remember my Master TP comm, right? Well, let me go on a little bit of a tangent of my own. Look, it shouldn't at all matter if he wants to curse or not. It's his channel, he can do whatever he damn well please. I mean, sure, it's childish and silly, but what, was that really something that needed to be pointed out for the 2,000 plus viewership that you had in this video? I mean, if he was inconsistent, that'd be one thing. You could very well point out whether or not he stays consistent with the censorship until the cows come home. But complaining about whether or not Mr. Echo the Shadow Hog wants to be family-friendly isn't any of your business. It isn't anything noteworthy, and you should probably stop interjecting to this video with nothing to say while you're still behind.
Shit.
Twerking.
We're gonna distract them with our booty shake to dance move.
Shika, shika, shika.
Big butt, so what?
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, stop. Everybody shake it, right, right.
That's it. I'm getting an electric cord. He's honestly forgetting what Pan Pizza said in his video.
Hey, once again, let me just tell you to get those marbles out of your mouth and please repeat what you just said to the class. because not many people are going to be able to understand you hiding behind your fucking essay because you're too shy to enunciate.
Also, good job cutting off Nero's before he could actually make his point. Said point being the reason those clips were shown.
Yeah, I saw it as more of a harmless butt-shaking dance. I mean, it was only in there for barely a second, so it's not much of anything to complain about.
It really shows me that you're handling this video with care and professionalism.
Past and try to modernize it for the 90s audience. Ironically, the more you modernize it, the less relevant it'll be in a few years. The worst you can do to a reboot is make it too trendy. What was trendy then is now a punchline to us today.
At the end of the day, do you really think it's worth it trying to defend a reboot that isn't even good in the first place? Why do you think people don't like reboots?
Wait. Is this a commentary on Nero's or Rebel Taxi? I mean, I'm known for going off on tangents onto another degree in the chain, but normally when I do, I address the degrees directly, not cut off another degree before anyone says anything at all to debunk the last degree in the chain. Which, once again, shows you're one distracted person with no script.
I mean, unless you were using Rebel Taxi's statement as a backhanded slap on Nero's, in which case your English is so broken it's honestly confusing trying to figure out what you're saying. Are you saying that this is the reason Nero shouldn't defend the Powerpuff Girls reboot? Or are you saying that this is why no one likes reboots? Or are you saying both? If it's the former, its trendiness is not the only complaint about the show that Nero's tries to combat, nor is it the biggest aspect of said reboot, so saying that Rebel Taxi's complaint somehow dismisses any points Nero has to make is idiotic. If it's the latter, kindly smash your face in with the nearest cooking utensil, because even Rebel Taxi said nothing akin to all reboots doing this, and fun fact, it's because not all reboots do that.
Oh, fuck me, Wonder Twins. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video.
Wait, what? Wait, what? That's how the video ends? Just Wonder Twins, the end. But why though?
Alright, before Ryan blows up in confusion, I think it's time for final thoughts. You have to be the most confusing individual that I've ever covered on this channel, even passing Mr. Exposing Doodle in the Human Optical Illusion. I can't tell if you're a discount reaction channel or a commentator who has legit no idea what he's doing. The reason I even checked out your stuff is because you asked me to do a co-op with you, but I'm sorry, after seeing this, you have a long way to go. How about in your future videos, you actually give a fuck and try to disprove someone's arguments, else you fall into obscurity as that one guy who led the charge on Nero's, with a video that was easily worse than Nero's himself. And Nero's isn't even that good! He shoves his opinions down the throat of Rebel Taxi to disprove them and doesn't take into account what Rebel Taxi is saying. He's really easy to refute. It's the reason he's a bandwagon.
Okay, if you need a perspective on how much this guy bugged me, I usually don't even do final thoughts in my videos, but this guy really gave me a lot to say. Is this really the guy people are following this entire bandwagon? Really? I mean, honestly, I don't know what's worse. The fact that this guy was the introduction on apparently how to argue Nero's? Or the fact that this guy, along with Nero's, who is also easily refutable, is most likely going to be certain people's introduction into the commentary community. Not only do you make no actual attempt to debunk most of the video, but when you do attempt to debunk something, it makes next to no actual sense. It's almost like people understand that Nero's Q is dumb, but they don't actually understand the fundamental reasons why he is dumb, which has led to a hilarious bandwagon as to me, Nero's Q is just a walking meme, which admittedly has made this a hilarious bandwagon, but it's kind of starting to become hilarious for different reasons than Huge Knot would want to believe.
I'm pissed, I'm frustrated, and I'm insulted.
Wow, you're pissed and frustrated? Well, good sir, that just makes me interested and intrigued.
I never wanted to do a commentary on Comment Jack. I'll be straight up right now. I always thought everyone did a better job at explaining why he's such a sack of shit when it comes to commentaries.
My goodness, I understand Comment Jack really isn't the highest quality of a commentator, but boy is the salt real.
However, just like Mr. Enter, Comment Jack did that one thing that drove me over the edge and forced me to debunk his sorry little ass.
Okay, I know this is a bit of a thing you can't control that well, but I don't know, hearing such an edgy Shadow the Hedgehog level speech come from that voice of yours, I don't know, I really can't take that seriously. Point is, don't do edgy anger like this again, it comes off really painful to watch.
And we're about to do that right now. It's go time.
You know, given the whole video, I don't think this intro music's that fitting. Let me fix it. Too easy. Nah. Perfect!
That's it. I'm done.
Oh my god.
Wow, that joke bombed so hard. I'm pretty sure it ended World War II. Yeah, you're going to need to have something called a unique internet personality in order to pull that off, Common Jack.
Unique internet... What? What? What is that even supposed to mean? Unique internet personality? So you mean a personality that is one of a kind and like no other? You think you could have used a better word for that, you to do just a skosh? Like, you could have just said that Common Jack's acting needed more emotion. I mean, that would ignore the fact you're honestly exaggerating the quality of his joke, but still, it'd at least sound better than freaking unique internet personality.
Hey guys, this is DirtBikeRedden and welcome to Common Jack. God, I just said Common Jack and I already hate myself.
Wait, what did he say?
God, I just said Common Jack and I already hate myself.
Something about saying Common Jack and hating himself? Alright then.
If you couldn't understand what he was saying, you need to have your ears checked. He clearly said, I just said Common Jack and I already hate myself. You quite literally added nothing to anything outside of a nitpick at best.
Whatever. Since I'm such a
lazy piece of cunt. What did he say? Lazy piece of cunt? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to turn down that pitch, hun.
You two dude, do me a favor and never say hun again, especially towards Common Jack. I want to keep my brain intact.
Here's some backstory.
Wow, love how you have to point out your own jokes there, mate. Pretty pathetic.
Okay, I get it being a little underwhelming for the joke, but pathetic? Oh wait. Of course, this interjection of you completely missing the point of his statement, I mean this huge glaring flaw in his joke, is clearly pathetic. BRB getting pizza.
Oh, so you call us lazy pieces of cunts when it comes to detail and history. Ha ha, not funny.
For the record, I didn't cut anything for the last interjection I made. This plays literally right after his last point. I mean, let's ignore the fact these two statements don't flow into each other in any way, nor do they relate to each other. I mean, this is clearly how you do commentaries correctly, right? Also, in response to you saying his joke wasn't funny without explanation, I'm just gonna rewind a bit to episode 23.
I feel like I should make it a running thing that every time someone just says a joke isn't funny without explaining why, I'll just play my clip from my 9th commentary.
Rarity is best Xenoblade.
You know, if there was one cliche in the commentary community that I would want to die as fast as possible, you would be cutting into the video just to say that someone's joke isn't funny. Because, one, humor is subjective, what you don't find funny someone else could, and or two, they barely ever explain why the joke is not funny.
Wait a second, did I just pull a flashback in a flashback?
And then Snap Attack Crew gave me the power of commentaries he never did, so I can commentate on it.
Well, Snap Attack must have been a pretty shitty commentator if this is what he uses his power for.
Whoa! Hilarious wreck meme! You sure showed him, funny man!
Oh, and if you say he's a dead horse...
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Ben the Looney is a dead horse, you idiot!
Okay, I know this is one of the few points you took back sometime later, but I'm just saying this for future reference. I am sick and tired of people outlawing what person you can and cannot talk about. I mean, unless the video is like a century old or the person doesn't make videos anymore, but the topic really shouldn't matter as long as the video is good. You hate the commentary for being a bad commentary, not what it's about.
Welcome back to Ben Rants, and I'm not allowed in the state of Missouri.
Wow. Fucking wow. I will not talk about how awful is his avatar, since that is not only obvious, but irrelevant as well.
Oh, he has a terrible avatar? You're using fucking Applejack. You're not one to talk.
Yes, because an ad hominem that doesn't even work as hypocrisy, given that Ben drew his avatar and Common Jack didn't, totally debunks his point, am I right? Why do you hate me?
A new Looney Tunes show? Yeah, because the last one worked so well.
Okay, this is to future reviewers, commentators, voice actors, etc. Aside of an extremely monotone voice, the last thing you want when it comes to sarcasm is drawing out the inflections. Especially when your mic quality is this fucking abysmal. The best way to inflect sarcasm is to be quick, like this. Because yeah, he wants everything to be censored. Everything! But drawing out your sarcasm like what Ben did here will give your audience audio whiplash.
Ben the Looney's sarcasm lasted only 2 seconds. Meanwhile, your sarcasm used in your example lasted 2 seconds.
Oh, just wonderful. I take a year-long break, I come back to entertain my fans. Yeah, because the last one worked so well.
And that's not even including the fact that you repeated it twice. Stop exaggerating for points, Common Jack.
YouTube dude, you have no idea how much that's gonna hit you over the head later.
And finally, you have no right to talk to future reviewers, commentators, etc., considering how awful your commentaries are and how awful this point you made was.
Nightmare goggles. yet everything looks the same.
Great! What is this show going to be about? Are Bugs and Daffy gonna be stoners working at a gas station?
Hey, aren't we supposed to compare this to the Looney Tunes show, not Pony.mob? I'm just curious. I do not remember any of this shit on the Looney Tunes show.
That was a fucking joke, you fucking scrub!
Wow, I didn't know I was watching episode 16 up in here, am I right, guys? I give him about 5 minutes before he knocks over the monitor.
You do realize you could have made that a lot more funny, right? Here, watch.
Oh, look. Not only is Comet Jack a Mr. Enter kiss-up, but he's also a half-boiled hero kiss-up.
You know, being honest here, if there's one thing that's really starting to annoy me to no end, it's commentators calling other commentators kiss-ups a bop. If anything, it's starting to become a useless, obnoxious title to give towards people that show any sign of reference to bop members in any way. And, funny enough, most of the people that I see use this term are just as big of kiss-ups themselves. Like, sure, it's not completely outlawed as a phrase. If someone is trying too hard to be another commentator or just straight up stealing stuff from bop members, sure, whatever. But all Comet Jack did was make one freaking clip, plus one clip later, from a bop member's video. I think we can go one day without putting someone into a box. On top of that, while I myself am not a big fan of Mr. Enter, we get it. You don't like Mr. Enter. You really don't need to remind us every 2 seconds. Like, the amount of times you bring it up in this video, along with your other videos, I wouldn't be surprised if your year-end nickname is that one guy who doesn't like Mr. Enter number 5836.
I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with Comet Jack either, but seriously, how do people not talk about this? My god, Ben, your drawings are so shitty, it's hilarious.
Wait, you say Comet Jack can't complain about Ben's avatar because he uses Applejack, but somehow you can complain about his avatar despite using mostly low-quality pictures of Old Man Frog Dude. And before you say, that's all you could find, well, while my friend Skion was making the intro, he looked up pictures of your avatar and found higher quality pictures. You have no excuse. I mean, unless you're implying that specifically Applejack is just inherently a bad avatar, but in that case, you don't really explain why it's inherently a bad avatar. I mean, it's drawn decently, while Ben's avatar isn't in the slightest. Also, if we were playing the what's more visually appealing game, at least Comet Jack has a background while you still have hashtag Black Borders Matter.
Hey, you wanna buy a snickerdoodle? While so far I've said good things about this show, there is still one teensy-weensy, itty-bitty thing they got wrong. Everything else!
Yeah, tell me all the reasons why you hate this show. Is it the gross out aspect? Is it because of them sticking to the formula? Is it because Bugs is not really that pleasant of a character in this incarnation? Each and single one of them is a very reasonable point.
Okay, you are an idiot. No, actually, you're deaf, because Ben specifically praised the show for sticking to the original formula.
You know what, YouTube dude? I'll actually admit that that was a decent point.
And you know who else complains about gross out and unpleasant characters? Mr. Enter.
Oh my god, please no.
Oh, would you look at that. Maybe Comet Jack isn't that much of a Mr. Enter fanboy as we thought.
He hasn't blindly defended Mr. Enter in almost half a year. Can you do me a favor and actually stay on point?
Oh wait, no, never mind. Taking the everything else line as little as he did seemed very Mr. Enter.
Oh my god, I get it! Also adding on to this point feels even less because Comet Jack was pointing out flaws he clearly called valid critiques of the show.
Each and single one of them is a very reasonable point.
So your gotcha joke makes even less sense.
Tell me, is it any of those?
That's right, everything that's wrong with this cartoon can be summed up with the title.
No, I'm sorry, but was that a cutoff?
It was intentional for the joke.
Was that a fucking cutoff?
It was intentional for the joke.
That was one of the most abysmal cutoffs I have ever seen. If you want to do cutoffs, you may not want to cut off on the last word of your sentence.
You know, unless it contributed to the joke.
And wait a minute, looking at it in retrospect, was that last part a joke? Or segue? I'm sorry, because I can't tell for your absolutely horrible acting. Was that a joke? The last part I commentated on.
Hey guys, remember when YouTube dude said that Comet Jack shouldn't exaggerate for points? Yeah, that's actually pretty relevant right about now. In all seriousness though, Jack continues on what he meant by this literally right after your long tangent.
That's right, everything that's wrong with this cartoon can be summed up with the title. Wham it! A Looney Tunes production.
Go on.
The only other Looney Tunes character I've seen in this show is Yosemite Sam, whose new design is ugly as hell.
I find this hypocrisy!
Did that just happen? Is this a nightmare? Have I gone to hell? Comet Jack, real talk here. Stop being a Bob Kisser! You're not going to get into Bob, and you're not going to be a good commentator if you keep your shit up!
Are you 7?
And Wile E. Coyote, who's now Bugs Bunny's neighbor, even though he's a rabbit who pops up in several locations. So how the hell does that work? Not only that, but the episode I saw with Wile E. Coyote in it just had him trying to get one leaf off of his lawn, and Bugs was just there, I guess.
Oh, just dandy. We got a Looney Tunes show.
I'm sorry, but was that fast-forwarding part supposed to be skipping? Wow, Comment Jack, way to accomplish one of my major pet peeves in the commentary community. Worst part is you were using a skip card before. What happened to that?
He was giving context but didn't want the drag on the video. You did the exact same thing earlier, so what are you going on about?
I'm a diehard Looney Tunes fan, and Bugs Bunny isn't even my favorite character.
So basically, this show needs to present at least 10 or 15 original Looney Tunes characters on the first season, or else it's not a good show.
Wow, that's actually a decent point. Made by literally everyone else back in 2011 to 2013. You want to write people called Benedict?
But in all seriousness, either wait until season 3 is out, learn to deal with it, or just go truck yourself with a chainsaw.
Why should he wait, huh? Season 1 is specifically the season where you gotta make a good first impression. Wow, that's actually a decent point. Made by literally everyone else back in 2011 to 2013. And the wait until season 3 is just as retarded as Brony saying that I gotta watch the finale of the 4th season in order to get into MLP.
Is this why you said him using Applejack was considered terrible? Because that makes no sense. Also, what was the point of even bringing up bronies? I mean, it had nothing to do with the point, so all I have to ask is, why?
You're going to go through the trouble of making a Looney Tunes show that matches the feel of the original cartoons, and you're only going to mostly focus on Bugs? Truck that! I know Bugs Bunny is the most popular Looney Tunes character, and it's good to see him back to his screwball roots, but he's a character that you can easily make boring if you continue to constantly shove him in people's faces.
Okay, I am really sick of this. Why do these bad commentators show an entire minute of footage from the original source material, only to say nothing about it? Seriously, am I the only one that wants to stab myself every time this occurs? Quit wasting my time! Why do I keep running into the same problem?
You're really obnoxious.
Hey, this isn't some game with limited time and budget. This is a high-budget TV animated show. There's plenty of time for whatever character they want to bring up. And you just said that the show is new and there's a lot of characters for the upcoming seasons. By your logic, those characters will never, ever appear on the show since
there is absolutely no space on the cartoon.
Stop. Remember this line, everyone. It's going to bite him in the ass.
Oh boy.
You can't look me in the face!
He says after he repeated the point of Comment Jack dragging out the original video 3 times. Consistency!
You are not the only person on the Looney Tunes demographic. Think of that for a second.
Hey, Comment Jack? Yeah. He's a fucking critic! He's allowed to have his own opinion and explain it so it's reasonable. No fucking shit, he's not the only person in the Looney Tunes demographic. The only person who would ever use that much of a retarded rebuttal is a die-hard fanboy.
I just want to go to bed. Can I just go to bed? I just have to happen to me. Does God hate me?
Wait a minute, what was that one video on the Amateurized channel? Of course. Of fucking course. So, not only is Comment Jack a Mr. Enter fanboy, but he's also a Rabbit fanboy. How fucking peachy.
Hey.
Dad?
Oh, is this the police?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't do anything.
You're...
Just George your mind, shut up.
I'm sorry, Dad. I
I
regret running to the circus, okay? The feminists didn't accept me. And now there's some dweeb on the internet who thinks he can take my spot as the drama queen of Idaho.
It's not your fault. Listen, I'm Rhino Dad, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you, man, we're gonna cancel the G-Man group. We're gonna cancel it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So, you want me to bring back donuts later?
No, I'm just letting you.
Oh, okay. I hated you anyways, Dad. Bye.
Alright, love you too.
Okay, mwah, bye.
After all, the show is still new, and it's got plenty of time to allow the other Looney Tunes characters to get featured.
Like Elmer Fudd, who the creator said isn't going to be in this show. Oh. Well, how about Daffy, who hasn't been confirmed to appear in this show either?
Hey guys, let's go back a few.
By your logic, those characters will never, ever appear on the show since
there is absolutely no space on the cartoon.
Who else would you look at that?
Because if someone says something, it's gonna be that way forever. Plus, to make your point even more mute, only one character was officially deconfirmed, while the other was just not confirmed at all. So your point just comes off as underwhelming at best.
Well, at least they're not going to take Taz, rename him Theodore Tasmanian, and make him an accountant. Nope. At least they're not going to do that.
Why is that a bad thing? I'm just asking. Why the hell is that a bad thing?
Somebody didn't watch his Looney Tunes show review.
Yeah, fun fact, if you have to watch someone's other video in order to understand their review, I think that could be considered a problem. To add on to this, do you mind filling everyone in? Because another fun fact, quite a few people watching your video probably didn't watch his Looney Tunes show review either. How can they side with you if you don't actually do your job as a commentator and explain?
Why don't you stop trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice? The original Looney Tunes are animation perfection.
No, they're flawed. Like every single cartoon in the fucking world.
Hey, there's a difference between perfection and animated perfection. You idiot!
And he goes on to not explain what he meant by his statement. Genius.
Ugh! Finally done. Thank God. This commentary, abysmal. You had shitty points, you commentated on a dead horse, your ass kissing to Bop was incredibly annoying, your acting was shit and unclear, you kept wasting my time at certain parts of the video, your jokes suck, and you suck. Do us a big fat fucking favor, Comment Jack, and quit commentaries altogether, because all you are doing with your piss poor videos is painting a bad light on the actual good commentators in this community.
Okay, this is something I've seen people do off and on again, and I've noticed YouTube Dude has become my new example of this, but I can't freaking stand when someone tells someone else to stop making commentaries, especially in this much of an emotionally driven manner, when the worst they do is just not make a good content. At worst, Comment Jack is just a D- tier commentator who hasn't even been around a full freaking year yet. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Comment Jack either, but telling him to leave the community, especially in your antagonistic, immature, mean-spirited, vindictive manner, is honestly something I don't think is very warranted on your end, or anybody's end.
I'm just glad it's over. If it had gone for any longer, I swear I would have completely lost out. Thank God that's never.
You still...
If you want to do cutoffs, you may not want to cut off on the last word of your sentence.
Skibbity bop bop, skibbity bop, skibbity skibbity bop bop, skibbity bop bop, bibbity boopity bop bop, oh yeah.
You still don't know how the whole it's a persona and it's over the top thing works. Say what you want about Mr. Enter. At least when he fails, we can see that he's trying. We can see some reason and some logic behind his arguments. And at least he has a decent avatar and a decent mic quality. In other words, you fail!
No, Comment Jack. You fail. You fucking fail! You failed commentaries, you failed debunking Ben, and most importantly, you failed to have a purpose in this community. About 9 commentators in this community have debunked you, and yet you never, ever improved.
Of course! Him bringing up Mr. Enter just had to be the last straw, am I right? And I find it hilarious how you expect me to see you as, whoa, he's really thrown off the handle, when honestly, this is just depressing to watch. Again, seeing how often you do this in a lot of the videos you make, right now you don't really come off as some big commentator that's showing Jack what's for. Right now you look like a child. A child that's fighting another child on the playground. And for what? Defending someone you don't like? That's the step that went too far? Give me a break.
Between showing a dick in your 10th commentary, failing to commentate on such easy targets, being a Mr. Enter fanboy and just quote whatever he says and pretend you have a point, thinking that you can arrest us for insulting you on the internet, remember that, everybody?
4 months ago.
You have no purpose here. And you know what? Comment Jack will probably do a commentary on this video too. And you know what? I won't reply back, because I don't want to see another second of this guy's videos. I don't want Comment Jack to improve. No. I want him gone. I want him to quit commentaries and never come back.
So basically, once again, like a lot of your other commentaries, you want to do the exact opposite of what commentators are meant to do, and follow the commentator stereotype as an obnoxious, destructive tool with no real intent to help others, but with the intent to tear others down. Listen, I just want to get real with you guys for a second. I know I come off as pretty sarcastic and occasionally douchey in some of my videos, but I make these videos to help, not drive away. If anyone I commentated on now came back and improved, I embrace them with open arms. Heck, that's what I did with Doodletones, Gale Force, and Star Maker. Now, I'm not saying you can't just make videos to debate, but when destroying someone's image or tearing another person down like you did here is your main priority, which you pretty much flat out said was the case, then sorry, sir, you get no respect from me. Try again. Now, on a lighter note, I just have to ask, how did this video have over 40 likes